We've just set up the CS50 now, and we are going to rip it all down to the right widths for the specifications to make this cabinet. So as you can see, we are just ripping the timber down, and now we're dismantling the saw ready for the next stage. And just setting up the MW1000 workbench now and cutting some more MDF to the right width and sizes, because we've got skirting board being installed on this job at the bottom of the unit. So the door I'll be making and side panel is going to have a bigger bottom, and this is going to compensate for the skirting board, so it'll all look like even spaces all around the cabinet once we come to install. I am now chamfering all the edges on the MDF which needs to be chamfered. So once I finish this stage of chamfering all the MDF, we'll then get ready for dominoing the sides and also making the middle panels, which we will be fitting into these shaker doors. Because this cabinet hasn't got a back on it, my plan is to domino the whole side of the rails. So once we connect both of them together with dominoes and wood glue, we are going to get a lot of strength for this cabinet then. So no screws, plugs, any fixings are used in this except the Festool domino. So now we are gluing up the MDF shaker panel. So I'm putting the dominoes in now, gluing them up with Gorilla Glue on this job, because this glue is waterproof as well, and this is going into a bathroom, this cabinet. You probably are wondering why I've just used standard MDF rather than moisture resistant, but this whole cabinet is going to be painted in, it's basically washable paint, so the steam won't affect it or nothing. But we're just going through the processes now. We're putting the side panels in on this cabinet. I do glue them all up, so it's a nice solid frame once it's all put together. Make sure you've got a damp rag ready just to wipe the excess glue off, because it does become messy. And once all this is put together, then I can start cutting the beaded mouldings ready to go on the insides of these panels we've installed on this unit. So if you just keep on watching, you can see the process I had to do, and you'll see the end result right at the end. When gluing up, you need to be careful, mind, because you can knock your door out of square while putting it all together. So it's wise just to measure the diagonals of the cupboard. So that's putting the tape on diagonally across to the other side to make sure those measurements are the same. If they're different, you just have to move it slightly just to make sure that you're not out of square. As you can see now, I'm just cutting the 6mm beads. It's going to be installed on top of the panels, and there's a little chamfer just above them, which we done with the palm router earlier. There's going to be a little section in this video where I do explain these areas, so you will know exactly what I'm talking about then. Now we're at the stage of gluing the 6mm beads in on the shaker door. Now I didn't bother tacking them. I think I fired one tack in on this and I weren't happy with it. So I would glue them all in, make sure there's plenty of glue in there, wipe the excess off, and they were solid once this was done. I was really happy with the end result of that. So if you just watch this bit quick now, you can just see all the beads going in there, and then we'll get on to the next step of the video then. Right, it's now glue up time now. I'm installing the dominoes on this shaker unit. Each panel is all connected with dominoes. I'm wood gluing the lot together just to make sure it's nice and strong. One of these panels isn't on show in the bathroom, as you can see. The other side, the full side, is shaker, so it all matches with the front. We're now just dominoing all the base rails and styles for this door. And once all these are completed, we'll then put this door together. We are now chamfering all the pieces with a palm router. I didn't bother setting up the Festool MFT for this because they're only tiny little pieces, and I just wanted to show you don't always need to invest in the MFT to do this sort of work. Only a couple of clamps and scraps of MDF I use to clamp everything up with this. Same process here as what we done with the shaker panel. We're just chamfering the edges of the door to relieve the edges. And once the chamfering is done, the 6mm beads will be installed on this door then. We are now fitting the bullnose cornice we've made just by doing a round over on a piece of 18mm MDF. And with this, I'm just wood gluing and tacking it to the top of the cabinet ready for install. So everything can be filled if there's any gaps or pinholes ready for painting.